Chapter 31. What Billy Saw. In Fairy's backyard, tucked behind the fluttering sheets drying on the clothesline, it felt like they were holding a secret meeting in an ancient fortress. The recent rain had left the air cool and damp. Though the sun wasn't shining as brightly, the early evening brought with it wandering shadows and the sweet scent of linden flowers. Darkness hadn't fully descended yet, and a few rays of light filtered through the branches. Matilda perched on a low branch of the old walnut tree, swinging her legs as she savored a strawberry-flavored lollipop. Ben sat on the ground, doodling in the soft soil with a stick. As always, Fairy sat in his swing, his favorite spot in the whole world. But something weighed on his mind, and he felt the need to share it with his best friends. "We have to find Danny," he declared. His words caused Ben to pause mid-doodle, the stick frozen in the air. From her perch above, they could hear Matilda's disapproving click of the tongue. "Why should we do that?" Matilda snapped, her tone ready for arguing. "Because it's the only way we can help Miss Summer. It's the only way to prove she had nothing to do with Danny's disappearance. Besides, how can we just act like nothing's happened? A child our age is missing. Someone we know. Someone whose parents are probably out of their minds with worry, missing him. Someone whose mum probably hasn't slept or eaten in ages. Imagine how your parents would feel if it were you." "It could have been any of us," Fairy said, his voice turning more intense. Matilda softened a bit. "Fine, let's just say we go look for him. But how do you expect us to find him? The police couldn't, and it's been 2 weeks with no sign of him. We wouldn't even know where to start," she rattled off in one breath from her perch. Fairy hesitated, and took a deep breath. But then he changed his mind about speaking. "Is there something we don't know?" Ben asked. "Well, I'm not sure how to say this, but what if Danny's disappearance isn't ordinary?" His friends were all ears now. "What do you mean?" Matilda asked, jumping down from her branch. "Did you see something?" Ben interjected, his voice full of excitement. "You think the extraterrestrials got him?" "Quit it with the extraterrestrials," Matilda scolded him. "But, it does kind of make sense," Ben insisted. "How else could he vanish without a trace?" "Whatever it is, they've got Danny," Fairy concluded. Matilda frowned. "How would you know? We don't even know if he's still alive. We don't have a clue about what happened to him." "Maybe not. But someone who saw Danny disappear might know something." Both his friends chimed in. "Billy." "But Billy won't talk to us," Ben said. "It's true, Billy won't talk to us," Fairy agreed, a glint in his eyes. "Not to us." 2 boys and 2 girls pedaled down the long alley leading to the Pride Mansion. Fairy, Matilda and Ben had convinced May that she was the only one who could get Billy to talk about what he saw the day Danny disappeared. And as always, May was happy to help. The afternoon was hot and humid, and the mansion shimmered in the heat waves as they approached. They left their bikes at the bottom of the grand marble stairs in front of the imposing oak doors. Fairy knocked, and a butler opened, inquiring politely about their visit. Matilda nudged May forward. "We'd like to talk to Billy," May said softly. "Is he home?" The butler nodded and escorted them to the terrace through tall glass doors. Before they could take in their surroundings, Billy's voice startled them from behind. "What do you want?" he asked, trying to look untroubled. "We want to talk to you about Danny," May replied, taking a step closer. But Billy took a step back as if he were ready to run off just at the mention of Danny's name. "I've got nothing to say to you," he said in a cold voice, turning his back on them. But May took another step closer. "Please, Billy," she pleaded, "he's your friend." Her words made him pause. Slowly, he turned and sat down on one of the wicker chairs by the glass table. They all settled into the comfortable chairs, each with a big, fluffy pillow. Before they knew it, lemonades, fruits, and cookies appeared on the table in front of them. They barely had time to observe the servants who brought the treats. "So what do you want to talk about?" asked Billy after the servants left. "We want to find Danny," said Matilda, looking determined. Billy forced a smile. "The police couldn't find him, and you think you can?" "We can't just sit and wait," said Ferry. "We must do something." "Somebody must have seen something," he said, looking Billy dead in the eye. Billy looked away, staring at the glass in front of him. For a while, all they could hear were the teaspoons clinking against the glass as everyone stirred their lemonade. "You must tell us what you saw," May broke the silence. Then she gently put her small hand on Billy's trembling hands. As if touched by magic, Billy stopped shivering, and his blue eyes watched May with wonder. "You're the only one who saw what happened," May insisted in her gentle voice. Billy sighed. He didn't look annoyed anymore. "It's true, I'm the only one." Matilda, however, lost her patience. "Well, what did you see?" Billy fussed in his chair. The shade in his eyes said he didn't want to remember. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," he sobbed, to everyone's surprise. "We just wanted to scare Miss Summer and pretend we got lost in the woods. We came across a large oak tree at the edge of the forest that was big enough to hide both of us. And then..." Billy stopped, his body shivering again. "Then what?" May asked just as gently. "Then Danny began to behave strange. He was talking and waving his hands, as if he was seeing someone." Fairy's heart skipped a beat. What was he saying? Billy fussed in his chair. Some silly questions that made no sense, like, "What is your name? Where did you come from? Do you live in the forest?" Then he pointed at me and said my name. After that, he said the strangest thing. "What do you mean you can't see him? He's right here with me," and he kept pointing at me, asking me to say something. I was too frightened to speak. That thing, whatever it was, couldn't see me, just as I couldn't see it. And then Danny asked me, "Can't you see the girl near the tree? She wants me to go with her. She wants to show me a secret treasure." The children shivered. And then, Billy continued, "The strangest thing happened. I felt something, like a change of the air. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't see anything moving, not even the smallest leaf. It was all very still. Then Danny said he was going with the girl to see the treasure. I told him to come back. I begged him not to go. But he wouldn't listen. He headed towards the oak tree and he went through it. He actually went through the oak tree. I could see him on the other side of the tree. He took a few more steps and then his image slowly faded until he vanished. He completely vanished. That's when I heard Miss Summer calling for us. And I came out of the forest. You know the rest." None of the children dared to say a word. "If things happened the way you're saying, how come that strange being saw Danny, but not you?" Matilda asked. "I don't know," Billy mumbled. Ben hadn't said a word since they arrived. He stared at his glass, frowning. "Have you done something different?" he eventually asked Billy. "Or did you have something on? Something that would have made you look different from Danny?" The other children looked at Ben with wonder. Only Billy looked away. "Did you have anything on that made you invisible, Billy?" asked Ben, looking him dead in the eye. Billy stuttered. What do you mean?" Ben loved playing the detective. "Well, it's pretty obvious that this mysterious being showed itself only to Danny. But why, since you were there too? Maybe it wanted to be seen only by him if we assume something unusual happened. But why didn't it see you?" "I don't understand a word you're saying, Ben," Matilda said. "What are you trying to say?" "I'm saying Billy did something which made him invisible. It's the only logical explanation. Isn't that right, Billy?" All eyes turned to Billy. He eventually snapped, "It's true, all right. I did carry something with me that day. Something to make me invisible. I thought it would be fun to play a joke on Miss Summer during the picnic. We wanted to make the food at the picnic look like flying. I told Danny what I intended to do, and he thought that would be fun. We would have loved to see everyone's faces. Only that. Only you couldn't do that anymore because Danny disappeared, Ben added. Billy nodded. What was that object? The one that made you invisible? Matilda asked. But Billy didn't say a word. Billy, you have to tell us, said Fairy. It might help us find Danny. Billy shook his head. I don't see how. Billy, what was that object? Matilda almost shouted. Billy flared up. It was a feather, all right. It was one of the feathers of the veiled lady. Everyone stood in stunned silence. There are 3 feathers, Billy continued. The veiled lady must be a witch, she must have put a spell on them, otherwise I can't explain their powers. In fact, only 2 of them seem to have powers. I haven't found what the 3rd one could do. If you put the blue one near your eye, it can make you invisible. If you place the green one on your foot, it can make you fly. Matilda shouted. That's how you won the bike race. I saw something strange glowing on your foot, but I thought it was some mechanism placed on your bike's wheel. I knew it was something strange. I knew it. Billy didn't say a word. He just stared at the ground. We must have another race. One where you will not cheat, she warned him, pointing her finger. All right, Fairy interrupted, we'll have another race. But first, we must find Danny. Billy shrugged. How do you plan to do that? The police couldn't find him. Just like they couldn't find the others before him. It's obvious something strange is happening in those woods. Well, at least we're trying. Unlike you, Matilda's words were laced with frustration. But to do that, we need your magical feathers, said Fairy. No. They're mine. You gave your word. Billy snapped, pointing a finger at Fairy. But they could be a great help. You said it yourself, there's something unusual in that forest, Fairy persisted. But Billy remained resolute. They're mine. Now go away, all of you. I've got nothing else to say. With no other option, the children left. Behind them, Billy stood motionless, gazing at his untouched lemonade. Can we really trust Billy? Matilda asked as they walked away from the mansion. He's nothing but a cheater and a liar. Fairy appeared lost in thought. His words hung heavy in the summer air. He's right about one thing though. Whatever is in that forest, it's not from this world.